Hey Data Jackets, welcome back to another episode of MSA Alumni Spotlight Series, and today I'm joined with Elizabeth. And to start us off for the first question of the interview, Elizabeth, tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you're based at, and a little bit more about your role as the VP of Data at PandaDoc.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Elizabeth Stanford, and I currently live in Atlanta, and as the VP of Data for PandaDoc, I lead our data engineering teams, our analytics teams, and our data science teams for the SaaS product. And we also are engaging a lot with AI and figuring out how we're going to structure our data to better enable internal and external AI solutions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. So you've built your career across multiple industries, from food service to fintech to now SaaS, while growing into a senior data leadership role. So with this path, how has the shape kind of been? Has it been linear, or how has that affected you as a data leader today?
Yeah, definitely. I have really enjoyed working across a number of industries. I feel like it has brought me a little bit more of a breadth in terms of business strategy, and that combined with the Master's of Data Science and Analytics at Georgia Tech really, I feel like, gave me a lot of the foundations to think through more broadly and systematically how you approach data problems and how you use that to influence business strategy. My undergraduates were math and psychology, so I am the kind of person who really enjoys the intersection of the data and more of the people workings and how to influence and motivate. And so that's part of what drove me into more of a leadership position. I really have enjoyed thinking through not just how do we solve these data problems and build these models, but also how can we better structure our organizations to integrate data-driven decisions and think from a more holistic standpoint and pull in some of those data solutions that my teams are working so diligently to provide.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that perspective.
Yeah.
In your current role, you currently lead data engineering teams, analytics teams, and also data science teams to support product go-to-market and customer success functions. With that being said, how do you use data and analytics day-to-day to drive decisions and to create business impact?
Yeah, great question. It's a wide spectrum of things. On the one hand, it can be something as simple as thinking through what a relevant data point may be to a strategic decision somebody is trying to make and pulling that data and telling a pretty simple story, oftentimes over and over to multiple stakeholders till it sinks in and helps change the direction that they're going. And on the other end, it can be something a lot more targeted and complex, such as building a model to target the prospects that a sales team is looking to source and making sure that they are targeting in the most efficient manner and the most targeted way with people that we feel will be the most productive use of their time. And in between, it can be something like experimentation. And I would say some experimentation in a business context is pretty straightforward. And in a lot of cases, it gets to be pretty niche. And so there's a lot of data strategy and statistics nuances that come into thinking through how one approaches these types of situations in a business context, especially within the SaaS industry. But there's, like I said, just a ton of different ways that we think about those things.
So we're interdisciplinary in that sense, right?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. And just to get a little bit more sentimental, guys, so looking back at your time at the MSA program here at Georgia Tech, was there a specific, course you took, little moment you had with your classmates that you think about to this day?
Yeah, there's a ton of great memories. I particularly took this program over the course of a few years, and so had great memories with 3 different cohorts as I was working full-time and then commuting like a crazy person to Georgia Tech every day. But I would say a lot of the best memories for me were really just spending late nights at the Georgia Tech buildings, studying, doing work with my different classmates. That was, I think, probably the best part of the program. Mm-hmm. And I still keep in touch with a lot of those people today and actually bounce ideas off of them for different things that I may be working on or things that they are doing that relates, and the relationships are just a great part of the program.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, moving on to our second to last question. Which class, project, or mindset from the MSA program had the biggest impact on your career?
Yeah, I would say that there really wasn't one class that made or broke the difference for me, but it was really a lot about just learning about all kinds of different things and really getting the breadth and then targeted depth in the classes. I think the biggest thing really in this industry is learning how to learn, and this program was so excellent at doing that and providing the foundation for being able to jump into the real world and expect that you're going to have to pivot and iterate and continue to learn and grow. And I think that was the biggest mindset that you gained from all of the really challenging courses here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Elizabeth, our time has come to our last and final question. So based on your experience, what early career advice do you have in regards to habits or skills that make the biggest difference in growing and thriving in analytical roles?
Yeah, for sure. I tell candidates that I interview often that for me, the biggest markers of success are curiosity, ownership, and collaboration. And I think those are all three things that are really big components of this program. And I think as I have both gone through my career as well as interviewed and hired countless candidates and mentored them through their experience, it's really made or broke the difference between being an okay or a good employee and somebody who's really going to rise and continue to grow in their career. I think it's a constantly evolving field, and there's just a ton of opportunity to keep learning and stay on top of the trends and grow. And it's definitely not something that you can do by yourself. It's something where you can learn things from other people and collaborate, and the end result will be stronger. But obviously, in a Georgia Tech fashion, there's an expectation that you're going to own it and be willing to work and drive towards it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that advice, Elizabeth. And with that being said, guys, this has been one of the greatest episodes of MSA Alumni Spotlight Series. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here today, Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All righty. And we'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.